Coming up on NonStop Local at 4, honoring those who served on this Veterans Day and also looking at the challenges they face entering back into civilian life. A bit of good news on veterans' unemployment rates. And with light at the end of the government shutdown tunnel now visible, we're checking in with Bradley Warren, who has spoken to Representative Michael Baumgardner on what the next steps will be. But first, we're going to Post Falls, where our Ainsley Anderson is live with the details of a strange and certainly unsanctioned demolition of a home that was under construction.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe, bringing you the content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local News at 4.
That's where we begin this afternoon. A new home in ruins after police say a transient got control of some heavy machinery. Thanks for joining us here on NonStop Local at 4. And NonStop Local's Ainsley Anderson joins us live from Post Falls right now. And Ainsley, bit of a surprising start for some neighbors there this morning.
Corey, yeah, I got the chance to speak with many neighbors, and they say that here in the Belrose neighborhood, well, construction is something that they're pretty used to hearing around here. But if you look behind me, there is a demolished house. And as you said, that is under some unique circumstances. So Post Falls police received numerous calls just before 6 a.m. reporting that a man was destroying this newly finished home with an excavator. And this is near the intersection of West Alsea Avenue and West Platte Court. Police say no one did live in the home yet, so there were no reported injuries. Post Falls police, they were able to identify the man and arrest him. And it's 29-year-old Fred Cadurna after pulling him over because witnesses say that they saw him flee the excavator and flee the neighborhood. And that arrest was able to be made shortly after. And Cadurna is now facing multiple charges, including DUI, burglary, and malicious injury to property. Corey.
All right, Ainsley Anderson in Post Falls for us. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, we continue to track the government shutdown. The government still closed following votes last night in the Senate. Pulse anchor Bradley Warren has been on this story for the last 40 days. He got out of the studio today. Bradley, the House will be back tomorrow, and I understand you just spoke with Representative Michael Baumgardner. What can we expect?
Yeah, I did just speak with the congressman. He just wrapped up an event here at the Spokane Veterans Home, Corey, and I got a text just a moment ago from a friend of mine in D.C. The House Rules Committee just started their meeting, and what they're going to do is put out a rule that allows for debate on the package that was kicked back from the Senate. So that's a very important procedural move that is taking place. I'll take you live to Washington right now as we watch members of Congress make their way back to Washington. The Speaker will call for a vote in the chamber tomorrow at noon. He wants lawmakers back in there. And I want to go through some math with you right now. Republicans have 219 members. Democrats have 214. So that means the majority is 217. It's a razor slim majority, meaning the Speaker is going to need his entire delegation to show up. I point that out, obviously, because we've got some air traffic control issues. Will every member make it back? That is what we are watching for very closely. But the big sticking point in this conversation continues to be that conversation over health care. Senate Republicans say they are open for a conversation to allow for those ACA subsidies to continue. The Democrats say that that is something that was so important to them that they were willing to close the government over, which of course we know that they did. Now, Democrats will have to accept stricter abortion restrictions on insurance plans the way it sits if this conversation is to continue forward with the Republicans. And it's widely reported that the Democrats believe that the existing guardrails under the current law for abortion are appropriate, meaning if the Democrats don't feel they get a win when it comes to this conversation come January, we could be right back in this same shutdown conversation. I asked the congressman about that. Take a listen to what he said.
Finally, cooler heads prevailed in the Senate, which I'm very happy with. You know, look, I mean, we need a government that functions. I'm happy to work with anybody on either side of the aisle. I usually try not to be too partisan and political, but this really was a Democrat-led shutdown, and it was really bad for the country.
Yeah, so the congressman also told me that he feels some sort of advancement on the conversation pertaining to health care could be made between now and, of course, January. That would be the next deadline in this. I will be following it very closely, and I will be watching tomorrow to make sure that not only some sort of vote takes place, but all those members make it back to Washington. Now, I do just want to note this could potentially drag out, Corey. It doesn't necessarily mean just because we're calling a vote tomorrow we could see the government reopen. Thursday, Friday, I would expect some movement on that conversation. As for air travel, it is going to continue to be a bumpy ride. For now, reporting live outside the Spokane Veterans Home, following Congressman Michael Baumgardner, I'm Bradley Warren, NonStop Local.
Thank you very much, Bradley. And let's send things over now to Leslie Lowe. Bradley getting out of the poll studio this afternoon. It looks a little cold.
It's a little bit cold.
A little chilly.
I was actually out of the studio as well. Went out to the Spokane Valley, and the sun was out. You get in the shade.
I missed that. Wow, thanks for telling me.
I know. It was actually, you're driving along I-90, you get to the Spokane Valley, and then the sun came out, and driving back into town, then you get back into the dense clouds. There you go.
They got something going on in Spokane Valley where the sun just likes to hang out, I guess.
Maybe a pot of gold out there somewhere. We'll have to look. All right, so let's talk about that weather forecast. Again, another live look over Spokane. You can see closer to Kendall Yards, downtown corridor, we've got those cloudy skies that are intact. I think it's starting to cloud up over the valley as well. 43 in Spokane, 48 degrees. Over towards Coeur d'Alene, it's about 5 degrees warmer. 46 in Sandpoint, mid to upper 40s between Brewster and Moses Lake. My friends down in Grangeville checking in at 50 degrees, and then we've got upper 40s and 50s for the Tri-Cities and the LC Valley. Wind speeds not too bad, 5 to 10 miles per hour, pretty well across the board. We are sitting under that very temporary ridge of high pressure. Now tonight, system moves in and we'll start to see some light shower activity as we get you into the overnight hours tonight. Tomorrow, more scattered showers in the forecast. We'll likely also be dealing with some of those low clouds as we head into the day. 37 degrees overnight tonight in Spokane, 40-degree temperatures in Coeur d'Alene, upper 20s across the northern mountains around Colville, Republic, and Kettle Falls. Low 30s over towards Troy and Libby, and then back into central Washington, mid to upper 30s and low 40s. Corey, when I see you back here in just a few minutes, valley rain, mountain snow. So I'm talking to the travelers, those getting ready to head over mountain passes. We're likely going to see some snow. So it's that time of the year. You got to be set and ready to go for winter type travel.
Thanks, Leslie. Meanwhile, honoring veterans in our area, Kennewick held its Regional Veterans Memorial Ceremony at Columbia Park Memorial. There, veterans and their families and friends stood together, surrounded by the pillars adorned with military plaques. The ceremony included a flag raising and a 21-gun salute to honor the veterans for their service. Kennewick City Council member Jason McShane saying today it isn't just about honoring and remembering those who served, it's also about being part of their support network.
I think it's important that we reach out and help make sure that they understand how much support that they have. I think we, as a society today, we don't realize just how important that personal interaction it can be. They just need that helping hand to reach out, to shake their hand, to say hello, give them a smile, and to bring some joy into their life.
McShane says although he didn't serve himself, people in his life who served were a powerful influence on him, something he's incredibly grateful for. Veterans Day came from Armistice Day during the First World War, which went into effect on the 11th day of the 11th month back in 1918. And as we honor those who serve today, it is also important to remember some of the challenges they can face when they return to civilian life. Ivan Rodriguez reports on veterans entering the job market and why companies should invest in them.
For the last few years, veteran unemployment rates have remained low.
It's a testament to the work that we're doing in corporate America and the services that are provided out here to ensure that when people leave the armed forces, they're plugged into great opportunities.
Bruce Mosler with Cushman & Wakefield says veterans have a skill set that could translate into many workplaces.
It's collaboration skills, it's leadership skills, and at the end of the day, it's people that work well under pressure. These are all skill sets that are remarkably unique when you compare that to just the young kids coming out of college.
As of August 2025, there are 256,000 unemployed veterans. Compared to last year, the unemployment rate is slightly down to 3.1%, according to the U.S. Labor Department. Still, there are subgroups of veterans who struggle more than others when it comes to finding a job. The unemployment rate for veterans with a disability is around 5.7%.
We still have a responsibility as organizations to make sure that once they're in a place to come re-enter the workforce, that we are doing our due diligence to bring them back.
Mosler says this year alone, Cushman & Wakefield expanded its veteran workforce by 600 and hopes more companies follow suit.
Today is a day to say thank you, but thank you is not enough. Today's a day to remember that those who serve have unique skill sets and they deserve and have earned the opportunity for their next career move.
In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
And still to come this afternoon on NonStop Local at 4, another person who's lived a really long time doing another incredible thing. It's not too late. Pursue your dreams. You know the drill. You also know that Leslie has her full weather forecast. before we get to any of the nonagenarian solving Rubik's Cube shenanigans, right, Leslie?
Yes, yes, absolutely correct. Although I think your stuff sounds more fun than what I'm going to talk about.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right, we'll see you back here after the break.